If I were to come up to you and ask you, do you know if you're living below or above your means, would you answer me immediately? How about your income and expenses? Do you know exactly how much you bring in per month and how much you spend per month? Many of us don't know this amount, and it's very important that we do. Stay tuned as I give you tips on how you can change that. Hi Budget Fam, Lee here from Budget with Lee. Welcome. My name is Lee and I'm on a mission to change my life, especially on how I budget, save and build wealth. I will be sharing my knowledge and my journey, hopefully to inspire people like you so you can also get your personal finances in order. With that in mind, let's get started. As you know, this channel is Budget with Lee and it's all about budgeting. On the comments below, before we even start, let me know if you budget and how is it working out for you and which budgeting method are you using, because we will be discussing all those in the coming videos. I used to cringe every time I heard the word budgeting, until I realized it can be a very powerful tool if used correctly. I used to use it as a form of punishment every time I'd overspend, especially on clothes. Who's with me there? I used to spend so much on clothes that if I overspend this month, then next month I will allocate 0 to my clothing category, thinking that would fix the problem. It was far from fixing that problem. As you can imagine, this left me very frustrated because some of the things that I used to enjoy, I would totally eliminate, and led me to actually hate budgeting. I absolutely hated budgeting because it seemed to me like it was limiting and cutting away everything that I enjoyed. And that's not the point of budgeting, mind you. On this video, I will share tips with you that you can use to best create a budget that will be suited for your lifestyle and your household, so you can absolutely enjoy budgeting. First rule of budgeting: know your income. You need to know exactly how much money you bring in monthly, fortnightly, weekly, or maybe if you're the kind of person that has a varied income and it fluctuates from month to month. That doesn't give you an excuse to actually not budget because you don't know how much you're going to bring in. You can just use an average from the last 3 months to help you with this amount. Knowing your income can help you to actually see what your limit is every month so you don't exceed it. It'll give you a sense of how much you have available for what. And this can really help you when setting up financial goals, and to know exactly if you are living above your means or below your means. Another tip of setting up a good budget is knowing where your money goes, also known as your expenses. There are 2 types of expenses. These are fixed and variable expenses. The fixed expenses are those expenses that stay fairly the same every single month. This can include your rent, your bond, school fees, subscriptions such as Netflix, DSTV, insurance. So these expenses are fixed every single month. You know exactly how much you're going to pay. You know that they stay more or less the same. These are called fixed expenses. Another set of expenses are known as variable expenses. Variable expenses are those expenses that fluctuate from month to month. So you never know exactly how much you're going to spend, but it's always a good idea to keep check and make sure that these don't exceed the limits that you set. These can include entertainment, food, groceries, eating out, petrol, electricity, water. So what you are trying to do in your budget is to actually allocate a certain amount to these kind of expenses to make sure you don't go over budget. With all that said, if you are living below your means, it means that your income is more than enough to cover your expenses. But if you are living above your means, that means that your income is way too little to cover your expenses. This is unsustainable in the long run because you can't keep up with your expenses. It means that you are digging yourself into a hole every single month and you're probably taking out debt, which is not good for your finances. So essentially what a budget should do, it should help you contain or maintain those expenses to be at a very low rate that your income can cover them. If the income doesn't cover the expenses, you are in big trouble. So what the budget is merely trying to do is to increase that number or that amount that you have left over every single month, because that amount can be so powerful that it can actually help you to build a better future. That is why I'm covering these topics today, where you can actually look at your finances, see what your income is, get a feel exactly of what you're bringing in every month, and know your expenses, know that number, and try to reduce it at all costs. Because the more money you have left over, the more options you will be creating for yourself, your future, and the kind of lifestyle you want to have. If you are still with me up to this point and you're finding all this information valuable, please hit the subscribe button and the like button so more people that want to get in order with their finances can find this kind of information. Truth be told, I had been struggling for the longest time with my variable expenses. If you're struggling, you are not alone. I was going over budget every single month because I couldn't keep my variable expenses at a low rate, at an acceptable rate, according to what my budget had said. I was totally fine with my fixed expenses because those are usually paid via debit order. So I didn't even need to think about them. So they will just automatically be paid. And that's also another thing. If you can, automate your expenses so you don't even need to think about it. So you don't even need to worry if you're going to spend that money. Automate, automate, automate. It brings such a difference to your budget. It brings such a difference to your life because you don't have to carry this in your head to remember to pay something. It'll be done automatically. For the longest time, I did not even realize that I was living above my means. And who would have known had I not taken the time to actually look deeper and see what the problem is. If you're one of those people, please comment below if you're living above your means and only now you're realizing, oh my goodness, something has to change. If you are living above your means, please on the comments below just put there something has to change, and know that you can absolutely make that change. Something will change. And if you're one of those people that are actually the good people that know exactly what they're doing with their money, put the comment on below, I am in the green. I am in the green, because that's where we ultimately all want to be. We want to be in the green and not in the red. And if you're living above your means, that means that you are in the red. You wouldn't want that to happen because, like I said previously, you need to have enough money left over after you pay expenses, so you have more room to decide what you want to do with it and how you can adjust, save, and invest. So if you don't have money left over every single month, that means that you will not be saving. Just a quick recap on this video. Number one, know your income. Know exactly how much you bring in every month, so you have a fairly good idea of what your limit is. Number two, know where your money goes. These are your expenses. Know exactly how your money is spent. Number three, that's when we bring the income and expenses together. You making sure that your income is more than enough for your expenses, or your expenses don't exceed your income. And know that you always need to increase that amount that's left over after your expenses are covered. That is it for today, and please remember to spend your money on things that only add value to your life. I wouldn't want you to live a life of regrets, because once you spend that money, it's gone. You're not getting it back. You now need to go and work for it. With that said, please take care, keep well, and keep safe. And join me in the next video as I will be sharing more tips that you can use for your very own personal budget. For now, bye.
Bye, have a great time. Bye, have a great time.